Welcome to the Country Scroller. In today's episode, we'll be making a kitchen welcome sign.
Alright, for the welcome sign, we're going to be using this pattern by Steve Good. And if you're interested in making this along with us, you can go into his site at Steve Good's blog spot, not the forum, of course, and it's under the category of portraits, plaques, and signs, I believe. And it's not too old of a pattern. I know a lot of people on the Elite site on Facebook have shown their projects of this with variations, so I decided to incorporate the same pattern, and I'll just do the original one for the kitchen welcome sign today. And the wood I'm going to be using is some walnut, and it has a nice piece of sapwood that's on the side there. And with a little bit more on this wood, I will show you the piece that it came from, because as you know on the forum I've been talking about getting some rough cut wood and some new machines, so let's go take a look at that real quick. Alright, this is outside of the shop, and this is my supply of rough cut wood so far. There's an old pinata or whatever, but this is it. And I have a lot of red oak, some cherry, and some walnut. And due to a lot of space limit, I had to bring my table saw out here as well. But there is quite a bit back in there, but altogether, all this wood here, I bought it for 86 bucks, and there's quite a bit back there that you just can't see. But if you were to say go to, I'm not ranting on any online sites, but say Oak Couch, I went there for a lot of hardwoods. But if you buy from there, you're also paying for them to surface it and delivery. So this is a lot cheaper than buying it from online. So if you do have access to your own local sawmill or rough cut lumber and you can plane it down yourself, it's a lot more cost friendly. So the piece of wood that the welcome sign is going to be made out of is this big piece of walnut here that I got from the sawmill. And it is, I actually got it for free, so that's a really good deal, obviously. And the reason why I got it for free is, if you notice, it's not very thick. Sawmills and a lot of woodworkers define the thickness of wood in quarters. If you go up to an inch, you have quarter, half, 3/4, then inch. Well, he sells all of his wood in 4/4 or 8/4, and he also has some 12/4. He has some massive pieces of wood. So this is actually about 3/4 of an inch. So he actually gave me this piece of walnut here for free, which is a great deal, and it's a nice wide piece. So I used this for the welcome sign, so I don't have to glue up any boards. And all I did was just cut it to the size, and I did keep that piece of sapwood in it. But I also have a couple more pieces of walnut that have sapwood on both sides, which is really cool. Then you could have it, a cool design in whatever you're making. But I just thought I'd share this piece of wood here. And this is a good chunk of wood that you can use to plane down to certain thicknesses for free. So that's really good deal there. And plus also the other wood that I have with resawing capabilities, which I'll have, or I would have used that piece that has 2 sapwoods, because I don't have a resaw blade or a fence set up on my bandsaw, but I can utilize more wood and be more cost effective than planing down in a 4/4 or inch board all the way down to say 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. So with this board here, I just planed it down to 3/8, since it's not too much off of it. But yeah, it's a very cost effective way when you can mill down your own wood. I know not everybody has that luxury of doing, but once you do, it's a lot more cheaper in the long run. So I highly recommend if you have that ability to do it. So this is a piece of wood that we are using, and it's a nice piece of walnut. So let's start with... Alright, so back over here on the work table with our workpiece. This piece, actually, as you can see, the edge is real rough looking, and actually all of them are, but with scrolling work is a lot more nicer to do, is you don't necessarily have to joint any of your boards really. If you find that the rough cut board you're using is nice and flat already, then just plane it down to your thickness. Most scrolling boards, you're just cutting out a piece of fretwork or any design, and you don't need a perfectly flat board like you would need for furniture making or whatever. Now, you can just basically tell if you have a nice flat surface. You press on the corners and see if it wobbles, but a lot of the wobble will be taken out when you're cutting something, and it makes all the stress of the board, all of it's gone from all the cuts. And also with the edges, why would you need to join it when you're just cutting out the inside? So that's the luxury of working on scrolling pieces, because you can just take any ordinary board, plane it down, and you've got scrolling wood. So, but of course, if you are using it for, joints and all that, you want to joint it. But that's my little 2 cents on scrolling wood and how it's easy to create. So now I'm going to put the pattern on, and I will be right back with you for the scrolling. Alright, we're over here at the scroll saw, and I have a number 1 ultra reverse tooth blade and the scroll saw for this. And when I applied the pattern, there wasn't too much sapwood on the side, but I did try to get the welcome sign somewhat along that edge, so you have that light and then it goes to dark walnut look. So that's a pretty cool effect that it will have at the end, I believe. So let's start cutting. Alright, we're off the scroll saw now, and we can peel up the pattern. Like always, that nice masking tape trick or blue painter's tape, whichever you guys do, makes for peeling up the pattern very easily. Now doesn't that look cool? Look at that. One of the whole sides has sapwood on it. Almost looks like he glued a piece of poplar or maple to it, so that's pretty cool looking. So now what we can do is go ahead and give it a nice sanding. I'm just going to use a quarter sheet sander for that. Nothing fancy. Alright, so now that we have it nice and sanded, we can go ahead and give it a nice finish. But for that, I will go ahead and do the usual burning on the back of it to just do my signature, you know. And then I'll give it a finish. Alright, so I burned it, and I just want to share with you guys that sapwood provided a great place to have a nice clear burning on it instead of burning on the walnut. And with the clear coat, it makes it all dark and it's harder to see, so that's pretty cool. Now what we can do is give it a finish. The finish I'll use is a clear lacquer by Rust-Oleum. And I've used this on some past projects, and I've been very, very happy with it. I have not much knowledge at all when it comes to finishes and lacquers and all that, but when you just layer after layer on a piece of wood with this, it really creates a nice, clear, glassy film on it, and it's really makes it nice. So again, that was Mrs. N off of the Steve Good Community Forum that suggested this Rust-Oleum lacquer. So I'll let that dry, do about 2 or 3 more coats on it, and then it will be done. So I hope you liked this video of the welcome sign and how I incorporated some fresh rough cut wood to plane down and everything. I didn't show it planing down, but using rough cut wood to turn it into scroll saw ready wood myself. So I think this welcome sign turned out good, especially with the sapwood on the side there. It gives it a cool looking grain to it, and transition from the very bright color to the black almost. So that's pretty cool. Next video is the last video of the kitchen stuff, because I'm going to be busy on 70 through 80 video while I'm finishing up 60 to 70. I'll let you know a little bit more about what I'm doing and why I'm stopping the videos early this time, and then we'll end the 60 through 70 with some other videos. But next episode I'm going to be making a cool looking napkin holder with some inlay on it, so stay tuned for that video next week. We'll see you next time on the Country Scroller. I'm Dustin.
And I'm Dylan.
See you later.